Good afternoon, everyone. It's 12:01, so Central Standard Time. So we'll get started. My name's Clay Bowman. I'm the Director of Business Development for TAC Insight for the Fastway product line, and we are really excited. Things are going real well today, and a lot of information packed into a short amount of time. But I think you're really going to like this next presentation. Megan Mendiola from the heart of Central Texas will be giving us a presentation today on 10 Fastway features that you should know about. And again, going back to what I said earlier today, I see some new folks in this meeting and some folks that have been with us the entire time. But welcome to Fastway Discover 22. We appreciate you being here. Fastway's depth and breadth continues to expand as we update the product. The product's maturing astronomically, and there's a lot in the product, and there's some things about it that you might not know about. And so Megan's going to do a great job for us today, I'm sure, helping you see some of that. So with that said, everyone, Megan Mendiola.
All right, thanks so much, Clay. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining this session today, and hope you've been enjoying the other sessions as well. Like Clay said, my name is Megan Medila, and I'm a project coordinator for the Fastway onboarding team. If you've been in our onboarding process in the past 8 months or so, then you've met me and you've seen my name in your email inbox, maybe more than you even would have liked to. But I'm excited to be here today and walk you through 10 features you should know about in Fastway. This session's just going to cover some features included in both the Fastway web portal and ticketing app that will help you increase efficiency, improve security, eliminate potential errors, and allow you to get the most out of Fastway. We're going to set aside some time at the end of today's session for some questions, but to ask a question, you can just move your mouse over to the top of the Teams webinar window and click on the Q&A button, and you should be able to type your question in from there. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started with our 10 features. So the first feature we have for you here today is two-factor authentication. This is an extra step in the Fastway web portal login process that will help you verify your identity when logging into Fastway. You can enable this under your profile button in the top right corner and going to two-factor setup. Once you're there, you can download any authenticator app to your phone, such as the Google Authenticator app or Microsoft Authenticator. Once you have that app downloaded and opened up, there will be an option to simply scan this barcode provided in your Fastway web portal from your app, or you can also manually enter this key as well. It's pretty long, so the barcode option's always an easy one. The app will then sync and it'll give you a 6-digit code to enter when you log into the Fastway system. Note that with two-factor authentication enabled, you'll need to enter the 6-digit code provided from the app, which changes about every 30 seconds, or at least it does on my Authenticator app. I have this enabled on my login whenever you log into the web portal. So while the two-factor authentication option does provide an extra step in the login process, maybe an extra few seconds to open your app and enter that code to get logged into the web portal, we do highly recommend having your team enable it and use it, as it provides that extra level of security for access for your logins and security for your important company information that's stored in Fastway. All right, moving on to our second feature here. We have user roles and restrictions. And this is someone I know a lot of you from you are familiar with the user roles. Everyone has them set up, but going into here, wanted to really dig in a lot more on restrictions as well. Talk to you a little bit more about that today. So of course, you can find the user roles in the user administration under the settings tab. This is of course the area where you can set up members of your company and organization under different roles, depending on the roles and responsibilities that they have within your company. Like I said, I know all of you already have user roles set up. Maybe you're an admin, a data manager, operations role, whatever you are, you're set up as some kind of user role in the Fastway system. But one thing I really wanted to focus on here and talk to you about today is this restrictions area. You can see this area is located in the user administration area. This allows you to make your roles really customized to fit whatever you may need as a role. So let's say you want to set someone up as a operations role, but maybe you want to hide pricing from them. Well, you can set them up as operations, go under restrictions, select hide pricing. You can select multiple of these as well. If you have a data manager role that you want to set up, but you want to make maybe the tickets as read only, you can do that as well. So this restrictions really makes your user administration setup really flexible. I did want to point this out here too, because I don't know how many of you know about this, but there is a customer role here under user administration. So let's say you have a customer who may be always reaching out to you about tickets and production numbers, and you're having to pull those, send them to them, reach out a lot, and it's taking up a lot of your time. You can actually set this customer up in the user administration under the customer role. They'll be given a login and they can log in and it will give them access to their specific data and some basic reporting as well. Now I want to jump into the web portal and show you here. I know you're familiar with this area, but if we do go under user administration, I also wanted to point out that you can assign an inspector role as well. It's right here. You can give your inspector access to the web portal and ability to approve or deny tickets with proof of delivery. Once you assign a inspector, you can go under this resources tab and then go under inspectors, and you can choose your inspector and assign inspectors to specific orders under the resources tab, inspectors. So those are just a few additional features within the user roles that allow you to have a lot of customization in the user roles that you're assigning and customer access as well, which I think is a really big feature. Go back into our PowerPoint here. All right, so moving on from user roles and restrictions, the next feature we're going to talk about is region customization. This is another great feature that we allow in the web portal, and it gives you the ability to customize your regions with important information that's relevant to your own company. These customization options can be found under resources and locations, and I'll actually pop back into the web portal to show you that. So if you go under resources, locations here, you can see under the regions tab, and we have a lot of regions set up here. This is our dev data that I'm logged into here, but you'll have all your regions set up here. You can see here you can add a company logo. Just click on here, choose a file and download your own company logo here. That can be added to your reports, tickets, as well as invoices. And then within the regions, another thing I wanted to talk about here is going under the edit section as well. I wanted to point out that all this remit info here, so your remit name, address, city, state, zip, email, will all transfer over to your invoice. So that's good information to know if you're looking to add some customization there. Also, this remit note, you can add a custom note there that will also transfer over to the invoice. So you can put anything in this text box here and it will transfer over. There's also an option for a quote note here as well. So that's a good thing to point out. You can find this here, add a custom quote note that will then transfer over to your quotes. So this is a good area. I always like to point this out. This is just a really good area to add some customization to your invoices and quotes. If you needed any help with getting these set up, you're more than welcome to reach out to us on onboarding or our support team, and we are more than happy to help you set this up. But a lot of our customers don't even know that they're able to go in and add a logo or enter this company information on their own. So I just wanted to point that out, that you have the ability to do that right here within the regions setup. All right, going into our next feature here. This is one I'm really excited to talk about here. I think this is a great feature, and it is our user-defined fields. So user-defined fields in Fastway are optional custom fields that can be added to your tickets, orders, trucks, and customer profiles. Ticket UDF labels are going to apply to both the ticketing app and the web portal ticket entry, but the other categories of UDFs will apply just to the web portal. Now you can use these UDFs to capture really any additional information you want to account for, such as maybe capturing a PO number on a ticket, or maybe even freight status within an order. The thing that I love about user-defined fields is that they're completely customizable to whatever you might need to capture for your organization. We give you the option to set those all up for yourself, give your own label type, and so they're just completely customizable for your company. Now I'm actually going to go into the web portal again here and just show you where we can find these and how to set them up. So you're just going to go under the settings tab and go into user defined fields here. You can see we have some set up in our dev data as well, but just wanted to point out how you could add one for yourself. We'll look at this trailer number here in the ticket user defined fields. You can go in and set whatever label you want to show. You can set the type as alpha or numeric. And you'll want to make sure you select this used checkbox to enable this UDF. Checking required would force you to enter something in that field before you saved or moved on there. Before you made a ticket, if this was required, you'd have to enter something here. And then this validated field option, checking that just gives you the option you can see here on this state one, validated checks, and that gives you the option to enter values in here like they are entered for state. And then that's going to create a drop-down menu with these preset options here that you can select. All right, so once you're done setting up your user-defined fields, you're just going to hit this save button here. It's going to save it, and they'll be ready to use then. Remember that the UDFs are completely customizable, like I said, so use them for whatever information you need to capture. And I actually wanted to show you what this trailer number for the ticket user defined field would look like. If you are going to set up a ticket user defined field, did want to let you know that you'd have to enable that for your ticketing app. You would need to go under settings and devices. Sorry, again, a lot of devices here. We're just using our dev data, but I am set up under this one. So I would have to go under here, and then I would click this UDF box. You can see then we have this one that we set up, trailer number. Now to use this in your own ticketing app, you would need to make sure this used is selected as well. And so once that is selected, you just hit save. And then let me pull up my ticketing app for you real quick. And you can see that in my ticketing app, now that I've enabled this UDF, this trailer number appears here, and I could enter that in here at the time of ticketing. So that is how you create a UDF and enter that in. Like I said, I love the UDF feature just because it allows for that level of customization in your organization. That's really important. All right, we'll go back into our PowerPoint here. All right, moving over into some ticketing app features that I really like. We're going to go and talk about some repeating values. Repeating values is a feature on the Fastway ticketing app located next to the ticket info box on the main ticketing screen. Any additional information added to the ticket info tab that you want to record can be saved and reused by clicking the repeat indicator with the two arrows. And let me actually hop into the ticketing app again, just so I can show you what this looks like. So if we're entering something and we see this repeat indicator, these two arrows, this is where we add our repeating value. So let's put information in like we're going to create a ticket here. Add our product. And so let's say we want to enter ticket info in here. You might want to record, deliver to back porch or something like that in your ticket info. But I'm just going to say have a great day because I want person we're creating a ticket for to have a great day. So to set the repeating values, like I said, you just hit these two arrows here, and it's going to allow you to attach this ticket note to either the truck, order, product, or all. So I'm going to attach to the order because I want all the loads for this order, all the tickets there to say have a great day on. So I'm going to attach that there. I'm going to select today only. You can select today only or not, depending on when you want to have that saved. Then I would just hit saved, save. And so that's going to save the repeating value there. So we can go in and create a ticket and I'll show you how that attaches there. We're going to enter in this information just like we did. And you can say that because it was attached to that order, that ticket info carried over. So that's how you enter repeating values. I did want to note how you can clear these out too as well. So you can see when I did add one, it added these two arrows here. So I can click in here and it lists all my defaults here. And if I wanted to delete this one, say I was done using it, I would just go here, delete, select yes, and it cleared out my default here. So using repeating values can save you time and ensure that the correct information you need shown on the ticket will appear without having to manually insert it with the ticket. It's a great option within the Fastway app, and I would definitely recommend using it. All right, so sticking in with some features within the ticketing app, the next thing I wanted to talk about is ticket backdate. This is a really useful feature that a lot of our customers actually don't know about. When we talk to a lot of our customers in the onboarding calls and meetings and we show them this feature, they weren't aware of it, or even some customers that have been here for a long time didn't know that this feature exists and it's really helpful. So the changing the ticket date allows you to enter a ticket for a date and time in the past within the ticketing app. It is really useful for, say, your scale house operator wasn't able to create a ticket for some various reason and needs to go back and create a ticket within the app for the correct time and date so that it can be printed and given to a driver or just kept for your own purposes. So I'll show you how to do that here within the app. We go back to the main ticketing screen here. All right, so the way you're going to be able to change the ticket date is going to the bottom of the ticketing app here. See this ticket date field appears. You're just going to click on that. And then you can see right here, you can click in and change the ticketing date. So maybe I missed a ticket for, February 1st instead of, today, March 1st. I'm going to set the date for then. And then one thing to note here is you can change the time as well. I would not recommend keeping the time at 12 a.m. just because the app does have a tendency to think then that that's going to be the previous day. So I would change it to be something else other than 3 o'clock p.m. I'm going to make mine say I wanted it to be for 3 p.m. So you're just going to hit, after you're done with your date and time, you're just going to hit OK. And you can see it did change the date down here. It does highlight it as orange, it's just so you know that it's not using the current date there. So now you can go in and make a ticket as normal, and it will set the ticket date as the day that you've set it here. So this is a really helpful feature, just a really cool thing that I don't think a lot of our customers know about. Wanted to point that out to you here. Note that to set the ticket date back to the current day and time, you could just go back into this ticket date option and just hit reset. And you can see it moved this back to March 1st, 2022, which is today. So again, a really great feature within the ticketing app. All right. Last feature I wanted to talk about within the ticketing app itself is multi-location ticketing. Again, a really great feature that I know a lot of our customers aren't aware of, so I wanted to point that out. Multi-location ticketing allows you to be able to ticket from multiple locations under one device. This feature is really useful for customers who are using a centralized computer to ticket for more than one of their locations, or maybe using one device and want to ticket at multiple locations outside of the scale house, or for whatever reason, we do support multi-location ticketing. So let me show you how we can get that set up here. Going back to our ticketing app, you can turn on multiple location under the advanced settings on the ticketing app. So we'll go up into our settings here, and then we'll go under advanced. And you'll see down here we can turn on multiple locations here. Now to add multiple locations here, you'll just go to manage locations, and you can add and remove, edit different locations from there. Now, I did want to note that if you are interested in turning on multiple locations, that you will need to contact our support team just to help you get this set up and configured. We need to make sure that you have the right credentials in here so that everything syncs over from the web portal correctly. But just wanted to show you how to get this set up and show you that this option does exist. So once we're done adding our locations, just close this out. And I just want to show you where now the multiple locations lives. On the main ticketing screen, you can go click these three lines next to ticketing. You'll see this locations then pop up, and there will be a drop down box where you can select from your multiple locations. Just select which location you want to use, and then you can ticket as normal. So multi-location ticketing is another great feature. Like I said, if you're interested in adding multiple locations from maybe a centralized computer or device, contact our support team. We can help you make sure everything is set up and configured right before you start using it. All right, so moving back into the web portal for some great features. One thing I wanted to show you is the group by column header option. This option is a really handy feature available within multiple areas of the web portal, and it's the ability to group by a column header. So I'm going to jump into the web portal here just to show you how this works. I'm going to go to the ticket query screen because you can group by column header in ticket query, but just know that it exists in multiple areas of the web portal. I know it also exists in the order screen as well as the quotes screen as well. But we'll just show you what it looks like within the ticket query here today. Okay, so here I am in the ticket query screen, and let's say I want to show my tickets for the month of February. We'll go ahead and query that out here. Let those load here. So you can see I have a good amount of tickets in here. I know a lot of our customers are going to have way more tickets that show up for the month, but again, this is our dev data. So you can see looking here, it's good information to see, but it's kind of all jumbled together. It's hard to, have things organized when you're just looking at it from this view. So that's where the group by column header is really handy. So let's say I'm going to make things a bit more organized and I want to group by customer. I'm just going to drag this customer here. And then you see it's going to group the tickets in here by customer in ascending order. So you can see it's already looking a lot more organized. I can, go find the customer here with this header that I want to find the ticket from there. Let's say I want to make this even more organized, give some more detail, and I want to also organize by order number. Can drag that there as well. And you see it provides some even more grouping now. The customer and order are organized here. So if I'm looking for a specific order, I can go in, find it here. So this is a great option if you're kind of looking to find maybe a ticket or tickets for an order and you don't want to go into reports, you just want to find it in the ticket query and not have to scroll until you find the one that you're looking for. This group by headers are a great option here. Did want you to know as well that you can group these by ascending, and you can have them list by ascending or descending order as well for each of these. Once you're done here and you want to show everything again, you can clear these out really easily by just clicking this X right here. And that will put them back into the order that they were in before. So you can see that the grouping by column headers is a good way to make your ticket data or order data, quotes data a lot more organized and easy to find. Right, going back into my PowerPoint here. The next thing I want to talk to you as we get into our last few features is haul zones. And I want to show you how the ability that you have to set up haul zones within the web portal. Haul zones allows you to create custom freight and hauling rates, which are assigned at the ticketing level based on where a truck is hauling to. I know some of our customers have set up haul zones when they want to pay a certain rate for deliveries 1 to 10 miles away, but then that rate increases for deliveries that are 10 to 20 miles away and so on. So for those situations, haul zones are the perfect remedy and solution for that. So let me jump into the web portal here, show you how to set those up. First thing to note is that to use haul zones, you must first enable them in your portal settings. So you can't use haul zones until you enable them. There, you'll want to go under settings, into your portal settings, and then just make sure that this use freight haul zones box is checked here to enable that and save. Once you have haul zones enabled, you can go set your haul zones up under the orders tab, and you'll see it's right here, haul zones. You want to set your region. So I'm going to use Texas because like I said, I'm from Texas. We'll set this region up here because I know there's some zones in here. So you see we have some zones in here, but I'm going to show you how to set up a new one. You'll just go new haul zone here. We'll keep with the theme and I'll say zone 4. Enter a description here. You can choose per unit or per load. And there you can enter now your freight charge rate and your hauler pay rate. I'm going to make the freight charge rate 3 and the hauler pay rate $2. And you'll want to make sure this active box is checked to just enable that haul zone. So then you'll just click update from there. And you can see this haul zone was added, it's active, and it's added to our other zones here as well. Now, Haley in her presentation happening next is going to talk more about how you can set up your orders to use haul zones so then you can create tickets for them. So just make sure you go to her session on order management and pricing happening next, especially if you're interested in hearing some more about adding haul zones to your orders. But just wanted to show you how you can set these up here within the web portal so then you can use them for your orders. All right, last but not least, we're going to talk about tax code groups. Now, you've probably already set up all your tax codes in the Fastway system and have assigned them to your customers and products as needed, but you might not have any tax code groups set up or even know that tax code groups existed within Fastway. Tax code groups allows you to group together multiple tax codes under a category, which you can then assign to an order, product, or a quote product. This will allow your scale operator to set the tax code from the group at the time of ticketing. So let me go into the web portal and show you some more of this as well. All right, to get tax code groups, to get to tax code groups, you will just go under Resources, Billing, and Tax Codes, where you set up all your tax codes. You can see we have a bunch of tax codes set up here. This is, of course, our dev data, so you probably don't have quite as many. You might, though. And then we want to navigate over to tax code groups. Now, we already have some tax code groups set up, but to set up a new one, you would just hit this new group. And I'm going to name the group Best Group. Click the checkbox to save that. Now, to add tax codes to this tax code group, I just want to highlight it green so it's selected. And now I can go in and add tax codes to here from my tax codes that I've set up as needed. So you can see clicking the check mark automatically adds them to the group. So if I clicked out of here and clicked back in, you could see it saved those tax codes as being a part of the group. So like with haul zones, Haley's going to touch a little bit more on how you can select the tax code and tax code group on the order product when she goes into order management in the next session. But I did want to show you real quick what this looks like when it's enabled for an order product on the ticketing app. So I will hop over there real quick. I have an order that I have set up with the tax code group, so I'll show you what this looks like. It is going to be for my Round Rock Express customer, this phase here, and then it is added to this order product. So when I selected this 1/4 inch pea gravel, then you can see that the tax code group popped up here, and I can go in here. It auto selected it to none, but I can go in here and add any tax code that's added to this group here. And you can see this haul zone if featured is enabled for this one as well. So good indicator of what the haul zone box looks like when it's enabled within the ticketing app as well. You can select haul zones from here as well and ticket as you normally would. Like I said, Haley's going to get into a little bit more of that in the order setup. There's some order setup you need to do to get that to pull from the ticketing app. So make sure you stick around for her section next to learn more about that. All right, so that is all the best features I have for you today. There's so many more we can go into, but try to pull 10 that would be helpful and relevant. I hope I showed you one or two that maybe you didn't know about already and may be useful to your organization. Like always, if you have any questions over anything we talked about today, you'll have the time to ask them now. And you can always reach out to our support team and they'll be happy to help too. But I do believe there are a few minutes that we have for questions now if anyone has one. I do see we had a question come in. Have you considered creating another customer level user, which can be limited to a particular order job similar to an inspector? That's a really great recommendation that you have. We're always looking for customer recommendations just based on the customer's unique needs. So I could see where that would definitely be helpful. And I'll take a note of that and make sure run it by our development team and see. I could definitely see where there would be a need for that. Also, Haley, I know Haley just linked in the chat a link to our roadmap. In that roadmap, you can actually make feature requests right there from that link and post them. So we all on the Fastway team can review them and the development team can see them and add them as well. So thank you for that, Haley. Any other questions over anything we went over today or any other area of Fastway you might have a question about? Oh, another question just popped up. It is about can you comment on the status of ideas in the roadmap site? I believe that I might, Ron or Haley, you might be a little more familiar with this than me if you want to jump in, but I do believe that our team can comment that something is, under review or maybe being worked on. Not completely sure on that, but I do believe you can.
Yeah, we try to update the statuses of those requests, and so we can make sure they're up to date. We can check, but usually we're updating them if we've completed a feature request or an idea, or if it's in development or under review. They're usually the status for that.
All right, any other questions monitoring the Q&A and for anything else that might come in? Oh, I did see another question come in. Looks like we're getting into some feature status questions here. Sounds like with invoices, are you closer to finding a finalized invoice button? I'm not in the development team, so I can't answer that one for sure, but I know it's being looked at. So I can definitely get you an answer on that and let you know.
What was the question, Megan? I don't
With
see it.
invoices, are you closer to finding a finalized invoice button?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yep. I know what they're asking. And I've heard this before. Basically, they're wanting a way to batch tickets, put them to an invoice, but prior to sending them out or a customer seeing them, they want the option of marking it final or complete. That way it can be sent out or distributed or seen.
Okay.
But I don't think we have a status update for that yet.
Hey guys, my power's out at the house. I'm up the road, but I think it just came back on anyway.
Okay, Clay. Thanks for letting us know. All right, so with that, we'll go ahead and bring this presentation to a close. Our next webinar is going to be in approximately 20 minutes, maybe 23 minutes here at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, etc. So do join us for that webinar. Haley is going to be going over some really good stuff that kind of helps you with your order management, your pricing, etc. She's going to share a lot of tips and stuff that I think a lot of folks don't know about to just make your process more efficient. I think it's going to be one of our best presentations in terms of like going in through the order management process and kind of increasing your efficiency there. So again, we'll see y'all in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and end this meeting for now. Thank you all for coming, and we will see y'all at the next one.
Thanks, everyone.